Looking for a simple way to support your community? DIY fundraising lets you take something personal and turn it into real impact. We spoke with Paget Ross, a longtime supporter of Homes First, about how she used her own fundraiser to help build a more caring Toronto. Check out what she had to say. Together, we can build a homeful Toronto.
My name's Paget. I am born in Toronto, lived in Toronto for most of my life, not all of it. I started fundraising with Homes First, I think in 2021. You can fact check me on that one. I really care about giving back to the community. I think it's really important, and I'm really happy to do so with Homes First.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, our first question is, what inspired you to take on the incredible challenge of raising money, but also securing essential items for Homes First?
So I'd say a couple events in my life pushed me towards wanting to help out shelters. One being losing kind of trust in our government agencies to do it and wanting to focus more on grassroots organizing for our communities. Another one is my sister died on the streets from a drug overdose in 2013. So I wanted to do something that was a bit personal to me. And a lot of my friends and community and family were really big on giving back. So that kind of influenced me throughout my life. So I have to thank them for really pushing me and influencing me to give back. So I would say those are the main reasons why. And then Homes First, because of all the shelters around the city. I was very interested in making sure that some shelters in the city were for men only. I liked how Homes First has men and women shelters. And I think, you guys, I think there's kids involved in some of them, but there's
Yeah, so we don't
all the
support
communities,
kids in shelter, but we do support families in
families.
supportive housing.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I liked the wide array of communities it touched on. And so I figured that would be the best place to start for me. And then you guys have just been so wonderful to work with. So it's kind of continued throughout the years.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And we're glad to I feel like each year we're adding different layers to the relationship and the work that we're doing together. So, yeah, thank you for that. You kind of already touched on this, so you don't have to answer this one if you don't have anything more to add. But why did you choose to support Homes First?
Yeah. So I actually used to, during COVID, my friend was helping out with a shelter in the East End, and it was men's shelter. And, and they closed the kitchens down during COVID. So we did fundraising for supplies for lunch bags. And so we did that for, I guess, a year during COVID. And then I moved to the West End. And so I looked specifically for shelters in the area, and that also included women. And Homes First came up and they got back to me right away. It's actually harder to volunteer than you think. And so it was a collaborative effort on how we could both help each other really.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah, no, I know there's so much need, but teams are strapped time-wise, right? And so just the effort to go into coordinating, absolutely. I can totally appreciate that. So I think over over the last well, we have 3 years, but that's how long you and I have been working together. So maybe longer than that. You've been able to mobilize your community to support Homes First in raising thousands of dollars and collecting new and gently used items. So, what are some of the highlights of these different experiences, and maybe what have you learned from all of this?
I think the highlight would be um, how much people will give back if they know how to do it and how giving our communities are. It's sometimes I'm shocked myself. I'll be like, oh my God, I just did this in January. No one's going to give back. And then people will still surprise me. So that part's really nice. I just focus on blackmailing my community so that they will provide me with money and supplies. I'm kidding. They're just really great. But I do find everyone wants to give back. They're just not sure how to do it. So it's
Right.
nice to be able to provide options. So, we've done that. You can drop off supplies, you can send me money, you can drop off money, you can come get supplies with me. And that's worked really well for people because they can do what they're comfortable with. And I think also people get nervous that if they only have $5 to spare or, a lightly worn winter coat, that it's just not going to be enough. And then they see that if everyone's doing it, it's enough and it can help out a lot of the community.
Absolutely. I think it gives people the confidence to participate. We always say no donation is too small. Like everything that we accept is needed. And yeah, no, I think that's a really great point. So I guess again, you've kind of touched on this, but what benefits have you witnessed in mobilizing your friends and family to support a cause that you care about?
I don't know if I would say benefits, but I would say it's really heartwarming. Like it is more about how we still care about our community, because I think our society has turned a bit individualistic, and this way it really shows that no, we still care about each other. We still care about our neighbors. Even in a big city, we still want, like my building, for example, many people dropped off donations and funds to pick up donations, offered drives, offered, their time. And that to me was just something that I needed to be reminded of, especially when you feel like we have no control over the things that are happening right now at a higher level. So for me, it was like, how can we do this at a lower level and, and get people involved? And so the community really stepped up right away, and that was nice.
No, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. I think that's also some of the big takeaways that our team also feels like, even just seeing just the sheer level of interest. And you're like you said, not everyone's able to contribute, and that's totally fine and fair and valid. But it's really lovely to see folks um, just being interested and garnering awareness of the work that we're doing. So yeah, no, that's awesome.
One more part of that, Julia, is I think sometimes we forget that when we walk by people, whether they're sleeping on the street or they're asking for money or anything, we forget that they're people with families, that someone once loved them,
Yeah,
that, or they do love them, and that they have people that worry about them. And so what I notice in my community is that I have that firsthand experience where my mom always says, it always reminds me of my sister Taya, like whenever she sees a homeless person, like they have a mother, they have a father, someone out there. So I do think that made a difference, was being able to say, hey, this is why I'm doing it, even though we should do it anyway. But it's still nice to hear a firsthand account where people are like, right, that it humanizes people more, which I think we
absolutely.
forgot to do a bit.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that's partly why that's actually is a really speaks to our last question, but I think that's why um, doing these individual fundraisers are so important, because you are like, you have your connections and you have your network, you have your community. They believe in you. They value your opinion and your thoughts and your the effort and the work that you put into what you take care of. And so I think it really lends to mobilizing for other causes, in that there's trust there already, and that um someone's going to take your recommendation and because you are that person that they already have the connection with. So I think our last question would be just what would you say to others who are thinking of starting something similar? So whether it's you like utilizing a passion, athletic or otherwise, to raise funds for a cause that they care about, Homes First or whomever. What would you kind of share?
I would say just do it. Just try. It's okay if you fail at it or you don't reach the goals that you think, because, like we've discussed, every little bit helps. And it's good to find something that you're passionate about. And maybe you can't do something at a huge level and get $1 million, but still $1,000 makes a difference, or $2,000 to many people. So and if everyone does something like that and gives back, we can really make Toronto and other communities a great place, because we all just need to work together to take care of those that aren't being taken care of.
Absolutely, that was perfect.
We have to care about people in our community no matter what, because every person counts. And if we forget that those worse off than us matter, then we're letting down our country. I judge a community by how we treat our worst off. And right now we're not doing the best job. So we all could do a little bit better. So let's start with helping out those immediately around us, and then hopefully that'll become bigger and bigger.
To learn more about Homes First, visit homesfirst.on.ca.